Saying welcome again. Predestination. Wow. I was mentioning when I first watched it, I didn't like it at all. It seemed really dark. And you see when these movies are used in purpose, how helpful they are. And the way we've been watching movies here is stay as the light when we watch. See how the light sees the movie. And then if things come up, use the course lessons or see where the desire is. So that's Jesus's entire focus these days for here. Anyways, see the desire for the experience. And that it's all you. It's all what is. There isn't an other for something to happen to. There isn't another person here. And so the only way things can be appearing in consciousness is if by the desire for that experience. So in this movie, sounds like a joke when it begins out. A man walks into a bar and he starts talking to the barkeeper, and they start having a conversation about who's got a better story. Well, that's a great lead in the beginning. Even who's got a better story? And he says, oh no, you haven't lived like I've lived. No, that kind of thing. And he starts telling the story. And throughout the story, you start noticing, as always in these movies, things are not as they appear to be. And part of the story is to find, is it the fuzzy bomber or the fizzle bomber? Okay, so it's like a mystery. And we were talking about how we love stories. We love the mystery of finding the one who done it, the who done it one. So they're going to try to find this bomber and save the world. This is like so perfect. Find the one who's killing everyone, putting out a bomb and blowing things up, and we're going to have a mystery. And there's all kinds of things in this movie, like going backward and forward in time, looking for the fizzle bomber, trying to find the one. And this man starts talking about experiences that he's had. And the guy at the table goes, and if I could introduce you to the one who ruined your life, would you kill him? We kill him, and that's the whole thing. We want to be a killer, want to find the one who did it to us. You can just start noticing the patterns in all these movies that we watch. It's trying to find who the killer is. Anything but to look inside. It's to tell a story that there is a killer, that someone can be killed, and keep living it out. And we can see in the light of divinity and the honesty of God in this infinite light, is anyone killing anything? Can anything be killed? Yet as long as the story's invested in that there's a killer and one who kills, this is guaranteed experience of death. And the one who's persecuted. So then we'll find one who can be persecuted and we'll catch him. Then we'll have a role in the world of being it's not to judge the roles, just to see how all the roles are given out to all the characters. And all the characters are us. And this movie really points to that ultimately. The story about the child that was growing up, I won't give away all the details, but that was left in an orphanage. Who left me at the orphanage? Who was so cruel to leave me in an orphanage? Who was so cruel? And then the stories as the child grows up. Who's so cruel to me? Who's so cruel to make me part of this program? I'm a really bright mind. I have a very bright mind, and I can learn all these things. And I could be part of this special program. I can be special program. And then I can keep waking up one day and finding out things that are not what they are. I'm not who I thought I was. So I'll take on a whole new physical form. Different physical form this time, and continue playing out the dream. Meanwhile, have a baby, and then that baby's taken away. So this constant shifting, who is doing the shifting? That's always the question. Who's making the decision for an experience? So this has got about the most perfect storyline in it that can be conceived for seeing all the different stories and playing out all the different scenarios to find who's responsible. Who is responsible? Who's the one responsible for this world? Who's responsible for causing all this misery and this death? You want to find the perpetrator, want to punish him. So as part of that, then that becomes the desired experience because there's no one else to punish. So we punish ourselves, cast ourselves outside the kingdom of heaven. And we find the perpetrator and then we shoot him. Try to get rid of it. I don't want to see that this is a part of myself that I'm trying to kill. And this movie is such a great reminder because the barkeeper and this character seem to join in purpose. To see who the killer is, who's the murderer. We're killing off parts of ourselves, trying to, for an experience of killing and death. And being left and trying to find someone who loves us. The character gets in a relationship with someone. They become lovers. Who are we in love with? Who is our lover, really? Then until the reveal comes and we find out, oh, who was that? Chapter 9, who are you making love to? Who are we making love to? Is there someone actually there, or is it an idea that we have that there's someone out there to make love to and who we can make a baby with? A baby is an idea, concept rising within consciousness. Now that's really powerful when you come to see that people don't make babies. Babies are concepts, just like everything else arising in consciousness. It's like, that can't be true, Jesus. Yet it's the way to see the power of the divine mind, to create these stories, to deny divinity. Until you find out who the fizzle bomber is. Who's the fizzle bomber? So then these two go into the little part of the storyline of trying to find the fizzle bomber together. All within the play of consciousness to find out who the fizzle bomber is. The fizzle bomber is the one who's decided to have an experience of a fizzle bomber. And to not admit that it's a desired experience. And so in the end, we find the fizzle bomber realizes who the fizzle bomber is. So, sharing a bit about the movie without sharing the ending or what's happening in it. But to follow these two characters to find that they're no different characters. All the characters are given by their roles by the one, by the wholeness, to make it seem as though there are many different characters when all the characters are really the same. Ideas arising within consciousness that is possibly separated from God. The deep dive to see ultimately that nothing ever happens. It's a good mind watcher for all the ideas about killing. Someone can be killed, and someone can be hurt, and someone can lose their child, and someone can be an orphan. All the beliefs, orphan, the desire to experience being left by God. The breakup of a relationship, the desire for an experience to be left by God. Getting in a fight, the desire to have a fight with God. The desire to find the fizzle bomb, the desire to not being able to find the perpetrator, to hide from the decision to deny. So it's a powerful movie to watch all the different storylines run and all the desires in each storyline runs. If God is dead, cannot be found. There's always death, there's always destruction. And then hero of the dream. I can go in the dream and I can save bodies. The hero of the dream. I can be the savior. But as long as we believe we're the savior of the world in terms of bodies and saving from killing, all these ideas, we can't see that the only savior is the light. The only salvation is the recognition of the divine nature, the light within what is, all the totality, infinite light. And to see how all these things, these different movements in consciousness and the investment, which is really an investment in the hatred, in the fear experience, rather than just as Jesus is pointing to today, be empty and let God come. God knows what to do. Everything appearing is a denial of emptiness, empty vastness. The only predestination is the light is always here. You know, because people say, okay, so if reincarnation, that's a popular topic. Let's look in the light and see if reincarnation is real. Is the light know reincarnation, what that is? Yeah, we found it. That isn't reincarnation. Yet it can be dreamed, there can be sequential. Well, it's all simultaneous. Does the light know anything about time? This is another good movie for kind of simultaneous. It's all happening at once. It's probably one of the most powerful depictions of time's happening at once, actually. It's all happening. It's already happened. So beings ask, okay, well, is the future already script written? Ask the light, is the script written per se of what the movie looks like? Movie is just an appearance in consciousness that's reflecting all the unconscious beliefs and desires, all appearing in real time with an idea that there's a past and a future without the future actually happening. See, the past and the future are both impossible in the light of divine being, because the light of divine being has any awareness of past or future. So just out picturing this, and then a label put on, okay, that's the future. That happened in the past, it's a label. Did anything actually happen in the past in the light of divine being and honesty of God? Did a single thing happen in the light of divine being? Anything ever happen? So these are ideas arising from consciousness that there's a past and a future when it's all the same. It's a label in consciousness that something's happened, that God is dead. It's current misery with the idea that there was a past where misery happened. This is why we look to the light for everything. Otherwise, we just get totally discombobulated by all these pictures, the desire for the pictures appearing in consciousness, desire to play in the pictures, desire to play in the idea of the past, the desire to play in the idea of the future. With all denying light within, infinite light within you. You see that the only thing of value is this light, and that we cannot find our way out as long as we're so into the pictures and play in consciousness, the story of who died and who we're going to kill and who we're going to protect from killing, and take on those kinds of roles. See that the light has no role, doesn't know what a role is, just is. You watch everything with people, equanimity, the same as untouched by it. That's the light. That's our only function. So we know.